All right, I'm going to be demonstrating this lovely rose. You guys can do whatever color you want. I'm going to try to be sort of true to what it looks like right now.
If you do the yellows and the oranges, you're going to get happy. Such happy colors.
Obviously, I mix my yellow and red to get the scarlet to get the orange. But sometimes I'm not going to mix. I'll just let it bleed together to make orange.
Oh, and your lemon color is very acidic, so even when you're just doing the yellow, you're going to put a tap of the Scarlet Lake in it.
Yes, I am cheating, and I'm using cad yellow as well. So in this very center, you're looking at what those shapes are, and I see little tiny C's. And I'm not putting them right next to each other, and like I did before, I vary the widths and where they are, because basically they're just going in circles. And I'm going to use what's there to pull those. Actually, I need more yellow. So right away, I'm not going to touch those until I want it to bleed. I'm going to make the shape of that petal first. And the shape of this one. Just going to kind of worm my way around here. Leaving white, and then I'll go in and just gently touch some areas so it starts to bleed and blend. And I'm just barely touching these. It's just such a light touch. I do want to get a little bit of orange in here.
Find that you're using a little more paint than water this time, or with this
right now I am, because I'm towards the center. It's going to have more shadow in there. And you see the reddish, pinkish around the edges. I wouldn't go too dark, but I'm just going to touch on the edges there.
So that's more wet on damp, right?
Yes. I don't want it to bleed all the way down. But I definitely want to indicate the edges or have a color on them besides yellow. Definitely a little more in the centers. So just really see what you're painting. Stare at it, look at it, and paint it in your head before you try to put it to paper, and figure out your process before you do it. So now I've basically got the center ready. I need to start moving out on the other petals. I'm going to do those in just yellow. Touch a little center there. I'm not being real particular about where the petals go. It really doesn't matter. Leave white here and there. On this rose, it flares out a little bit in the center of the petal, so I'm trying to get that in there.
Pointy petal.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm putting the darker yellow at the outer edge, and sometimes I'm putting it on the center, just to give it variation. Stealing a little yellow. Just kind of having fun at this point. All right, now I need to go back and add some of my edges here. barely touching.
Now that everyone's mastered bleeds, just try it.
A little bit in the center.
You loosening up your hands?
I can't believe her control. I can't control.
That's okay, you don't have to. I don't control it like that either.
My mom always said that too. She's like, how do you have such a steady hand? I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Just do.
Everybody's got their own hand.
All right, so I really want to noodle these edges a little bit more because it looks different when I look up there. Look how dark that is right there. I mean, that is, those are in crimson.
I think they're so beautiful when they start to wilt. They really open up.
And I know it's a little oddly shaped. I need another petal up here, but you need to work where you need where your water's wet, and where you need it to blend, that's where you need to work. And don't worry about the rest right now. So now I really want to see a petal up there because the flatness is really bothering me. Let the bleeds happen. I mean, look what's going on in there, and I barely touch it. Yeah, it's just so fun. Occasionally you can push it down. I liked it better before. So this looks a little flat. There's not as much red on this one because that petal is curled. So that one will mostly be yellow.
You're hypnotizing us.
Especially after a full belly. And I think I need a little more down here. See a hint of the round area down there, so we're just going to put that in there. I think I want to bleed this, even though don't see too much of it. It's better to start light and add color to it rather than try to take it away.
Oh, these moths, they just love people.
You know I have to add my brown. Right there. Barely touched it. So now, that's the gist of it.
Perfect.
I would like to add a little bit,
A little dark.
almost like it needs to be just bright orange in there.
Okay. Popping up the color.
Yeah,
So that really gives it more depth.
that really helped. And now I can add the dark.
I know. I wouldn't have done
You have to be brave.
it. No, you're right. Because there's so many times. I think every time you've demonstrated something, I've thought that's good. Don't do anything else. It's perfect. And then you do, and then I'm like, oh, it's more perfect.
It is beautiful.
I mean, you could go in and you could do in the shadows and all that, but I think this is where
Yeah.
we're headed right now.
Freestyle floral.
Yeah, yeah.
So while you start making your flowers, just know that I'll be doing a loose version over here of a side view. And so I don't mind if you want to take a peek after you know, at any point. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Yes. The fun part is tapping a little dark into it. This is actually kind of thick. This stuff is drying so fast.
It is true.